told you I found you a perfect match. Chosen by science, but you had to marry them right this second. You would tell me, well, that sounds pretty whack. And I would add, you have 8 weeks to know if you really love them. You just got married at first sight. Jason and Aysha gonna tell you wrong from right. Are all these couples just disasters waiting to happen? Imagine if one of them could be a perfect match.
Hello and welcome to A Perfect Match. I'm Aysha and I'm here to talk about, the show Married at First Sight. We're here on episode 21. Not quite yet to Decision Day Part 2, but we're in this in-between period. But I'm here with my co-host, who he told me just came from an aura reading. Jason Reed. Jason, what did your psychic say about your aura?
They said it was a bright green. That means it is a deeply introspective, emotionally intelligent, but deeply pessimistic about these people on reality shows.
Yes.
That's what they told me about my aura.
Mine said the same thing.
Yeah. It's like, I'm reading for your aura that you don't think the people on Married at First Sight are going to make it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The psychic's like, wait, are you a psychic?
Like, you got that from a fake picture? Wow. The picture you added colors to? Oh my goodness.
I'm kind of curious. I would love to see.
I know you are. I know. I'm shocked that you have never done this whatsoever. It seems like the perfect Aysha Welch activity to go do.
That's my homework now. I will find a person in Houston.
Less escape rooms, more medium psychic aura readings. That's what you need to prescribe to.
Exactly. Oh, welcome y'all. This was an eventful episode / after party.
Listen, Animal Sanctuary, foster kids, Austin, sad, Austin, Becca, Emily, Claire, Mad, blah 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 blah. Second half after party. Let's discuss.
Yes, guys.
Let's skip all the rest of that nonsense. Just go right straight to the good stuff. But no. We got to make y'all wait. We do. There's a process to this. There's levels to this. Okay, we got we got to go in order. Yes, that's what we do.
After party.
Listen, if you want to fast forward to the back half of this podcast, listen to that, then go back. I'm not going to begrudge you, but
Right. But stay, have fun, be here for the ride.
We're gonna have fun talking about the rest of the nothingness.
Right.
That's what we do.
So yes, please make sure you go subscribe to the Love at First Sight feed, where you can get all of the podcasts for A Perfect Match, as well as Love is Blind, which just wrapped up. And by the time you're listening to this, Jason will be live. Or he may have been live in the past, depending. I don't know the timing.
It's probably already happened, and it went great. Let me just say
awesome.
It was so fantastic. Yes. We had several people on from the show.
Hundreds in the chat. It was amazing.
The people from the show just decided to find our YouTube and jump on.
Nick and Vanessa were on too, right?
Yeah, they were there. We had Kenneth and Brittany on, but you wouldn't know it because they were silent the whole time. Right. Yeah, it was such a hoot and a holler.
So that was great. So if you haven't listened to the
we brought Trevor out to rate him some more.
Oh, yeah. Oh my goodness. So yes, make sure you catch that Love is Blind coverage of the reunion, which I feel was the best reunion ever.
Okay. I feel you on that. I still say season 4 was probably neck and neck with it. We had so much going on. There's so much drama, so much mess. Mm-hmm. I think season 5 of Love is Blind is just lost to existence. No one remembers it.
Poor Houston. Houston.
No, it's just erased from all of our minds because I can't remember the reunion for that season.
Well, yeah, and then everybody can remember like the cutie with Cole. What was that, season 3?
3, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
or 2? No, 4. Who knows? Anyway, we're here to talk about Married at First Sight. So
almost forgot.
Yeah. Make sure, make sure you go leave us a 5-star rating and review. We really appreciate it. We've been shouting them out all season. So this one is from Run Free Dance Play. It's a heart emoji, the praying hands emoji, or some people might say that's a high five emoji, and then the laughing
Two high
emoji.
fives, yeah.
Yeah, says always gives me a laugh. Wouldn't mind a little less of the Pastor Cal voice. Great pod.
Excuse me.
I'm not doing it, so I don't know.
Listen,
They're not talking to me.
it's a big moment, really big moment. This episode, finally, we got some consummation. Oh, shivers. I could sense it when it happened. I just felt some shivers in my body.
I was like, no experts this episode. No way we're getting Pastor Cal. We got him. Thanks to Run Free Dance Play.
That was your fault. You wanted less. You should have brought it up. Okay. You could have had none of it this episode, but hey, there we go.
What's the other one?
So we're gonna do B. Haynes. The title is Great Banter. I've listened for a while and really enjoyed the dynamic of the two of you. But what got me to finally leave a review was every time Jason calls Orion Onion. It makes me laugh every time. Slow clap for the shade. Thanks for the recaps. I really enjoy them. B. Haynes, I appreciate the review. I appreciate your appreciating my shade for the one called Onion. Unfortunately, it seems like we're going to get a lot more Onion content from here on out. I think he's even in the previews for next episode.
He's like, just like everybody else now. What's the difference?
Why must you put us through this?
Right. And make sure y'all go join the Facebook group. We've been having a lot of fun all season talking about these episodes. You can find that at A Perfect Match Podcast on Facebook. And this week, the password is
Deep Red Aura. Now you can spell aura the way you want to spell it. I put in my notes ORA. Aysha has it up here as AURA. I don't know how it's really spelled.
That is how it's spelled.
Sure, I'm not going to dispute it because I don't really know. I just phonetically, I was like, sounds like ORA to me.
Oh my, yes, you got me second guessing myself. It is AURA.
Hey,
goodness, not to be confused with the Aura rings, which is OURA. Those are the rings that like track your sleep and other things.
That sounds like some bougie nonsense that you would get into.
Look, this is one of those purchases that I am.
Oh, so it is something you got into.
I don't have it. I want it, but I don't have it yet. I'm sitting on it. It's one of those like, if I really want it, I'll still want it in 6 months.
It's a ring that says, you probably slept 6 hours. Sure. Like
no, it tells you how ready you are for the day. It tells you
yes, all of it. Nonsense.
It's like you burn this many calories, you slept this well, so
what is
take it easy today.
What is the scientific basis between
There's a lot of technology in the ring. I'll send you a link. We don't have to waste people's time right now.
Unnecessary. I just know it's all a bunch of bull. They're just giving you a bunch of numbers like,
no,
yeah, you burned 1,000 calories today. Sure.
Are you anti-science?
I'm anti-nonsense science. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No, I believe it. I have friends that have them. Okay. And they love them.
Yeah.
My only point of hesitation is, why do I need that and an Apple Watch?
The answer is you don't. You just have too much money that you're burning. That's the sign of too much money. I've got an Apple Watch, and I've got an Aura, and I got a Fitbit on my other arm.
I don't wear my watch to sleep. So if I did get one, it would only be for the sleep tracking, which I'm like, is that worth it? Because I could use my phone for sleep tracking. There are so many great apps.
It's worth it for the Aysha Welch of the world. Okay.
I'm still sitting on it. We'll see.
I'm scared to ask how much the ring is. Don't tell me, please. I'll cry.
They did just start accepting HSA. So it's official.
Okay, so even the poorest can buy it.
Anyway, we're going to move on and talk about this episode 21. Okay. We did have episode 20 last week, which is Decision Day, part 1 for 3 of the couples. We know last week 2 of the couples said no, which duh. Then one couple said yes, Austin and Becca. They said yes, and then a day later, they said,
trend. It's a trend.
Never mind.
Psych.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
So today we'll talk about the way that they did it was like Chloe and Michael, and then all the singles. So we're just gonna talk about.
I thought this was like Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants part whatever. It's like all the girls just getting together. This is the man hating women's club. Like, oh my god, y'all! Every segment with them was them with another one of them. All the dudes are just like, nah, I'm just chilling out. I'm just chilling here by myself, except for Cam and Michael called each other. All the girls
was like the whole episode. Becca and Emily were just gassing each other up. I said, let me find out this is a love story between them two.
Girl, he trash. Becca's like, you're so loving, you're so perfect, you're so emotional. They just start they start leaning in. It's like, oh my, what is happening here?
They said, in Married at First Sight, first time in Married at First Sight history.
Wait, history again. Hey, I'm here for it.
Right. So that would be the love that they need, because they think the highest of each other. And I don't know if it's this like not group think, but we'll get into it with the whole after party of it all.
More like Claire think. Claire puppeteering Becca and Emily. Man, swapping dance. Hate those men. Hate those men. Do it.
They're silencing you.
Optics. Manipulation.
They gaslit you. I see it. I see
he doesn't respect you.
She's like, don't worry, we have Cameron.
He's on our side. I'll talk to him.
Oh, if you're confused, we are going to get there. So first, we'll dive into Chloe and Michael, then we'll get into chronologically everybody else. So with Chloe and Michael, they have a date. And so they're going to Broken Shovels, which is an animal sanctuary, which, what did they say, about 7,000 animals?
Something in that neighborhood, yeah.
Something like that. So it's Andrea. She's the director. She greets them. She has this like fiery blue hair. Or I guess, can you say fiery or maybe oceany?
Oceany. Smurfy.
Blue hair, was giving cotton candy. So we find out from Chloe that she's always dreamed of having an animal, or dreamt of having an animal sanctuary. And so she brought Michael here to show him what a glimpse of their future would look like. And so they're getting introduced to the animals. They have to get a petting glove. They go meet Lila Moo, who's one of the disabled cows. Chloe starts crying. She's empathizing with the cow. And the cow really likes really likes carrot tips. And Lila has a wheelchair too for when she wants to go around the animal sanctuary. They're really learning a lot about Lila at this point.
A little too much. Right.
So,
a little time on Lila.
They said, all right, keep going. More about Lila.
Y'all don't give us nothing. We need something here.
Right. And so we get a confessional from Michael. He's like, I never imagined living on a farm, but I am emotionally touched, and it's fulfilling to see, and be a part of. So they go visit the goats. There's a bunch of goats, and they have a job. They're here to volunteer. They're not just here for hello. So their job is to rake up piles of poop. And so they start doing that. Michael says he'll take care of it so Chloe can like play with the pets or play with the goats. And we find out from Chloe that she has always dreamed of this animal sanctuary because she just really wants to help them have a sense of love and purpose. And like this, where they're at is technically bigger than what she's ever dreamed of, but she wants about half this size. Mind you, we said 7,000 animals.
Yeah.
She wants about 45, or no, what's half? 3,500?
There you go. You got it. And the look on Michael's face, and this is where he's like, wait, what?
Half?
This really seems like the first time the words animal sanctuary have ever been brought up between these two. It's like, wait a minute, what? Like, you want me to live on a farm?
Like, y'all have an animal sanctuary at home with your 5 pets.
You want me to waste these fits on a farm?
It's like, who's gonna see them? She's like,
Who's
you
gonna see
better
my
download
style?
TikTok.
My women's like music festival hat that I got going on. You want me to waste that on a
On a
farm?
farm in the middle of nowhere. And so he's like, okay, so like, are you thinking like 50% farm, 50% domesticated? She's like, well, just any and all that need a home, kind of like a hospice, senior animals, special needs. And so she's like, yeah, so like, I know that's a lot, but I also want to foster kids so that the kids can come and play with the animals. She's like, we find out the timing is that she wants to foster kids pre-sanctuary, because sanctuary feels like a long-term goal for her. So she's like, before that, she wants to foster children. And her dream is to foster 5 children at a time.
This is a lot to drop on one person. Okay.
She said, let's see what else I can do to kind of make him run away.
Did I also tell you I want to open up my home to recently released inmates from prison? Did I also tell you that? Like,
And
man,
only the ones with the harshest crimes.
you must have a tear tattoo under your eyes to enter my halfway house. Like,
2.
yeah. I mean, just to drop all this on him at this point, I've seen people say, is she, purposely trying to push him away? What is the goal of this?
That's
Because
what it feels like.
that's what it's giving. Because like it's really a lot to drop on somebody. This 5 at a time. It just sounds like a made up number that you just came up like, how about 5 at a time? What do you feel about that, huh, buddy?
And she
flash back to the wedding.
Yeah.
Where they ask her, like, so what do you think about kids? She's like, I don't know. I could get with fostering kids. Like I would consider that. Now, I want 5 foster kids at a time. Like,
yeah, now it's a definite thing. And it's just like, yeah, I do remember her saying that was it. I thought I was not remembering correctly, because how we go from, depending on what, to 5.
Yeah, it must be 5. There's no negotiating. It's 5.
Not only does she say 5, she wants 5 older kids, because the younger kids are easier to place, which that's a fair assessment, right? But she says, she wants older kids because they're more of a challenge, more so like middle school, high school age. And she wants each foster child to have their own bedroom.
He's like, so we're not living in the city. Like, you're for real on this farm life, because that's the only like place you're gonna get that much room for
Right.
what you're talking about. Like, you want 5 children, all with their emotional troubles, all with their like, you want the hard ones. This is what you're saying. You want the tough cases, and you want me to do that with you. That's what you want to do. Now, let's remember Chloe. Chloe's who we're talking about.
She is.
Who marrying Michael was so stressful that she just had to run away for a few days.
Yeah, because she's an introvert.
Yeah.
She needs her alone time.
Right. But now you want to foster 5 kids at a time while taking care of a bunch of animals. You see how that doesn't really match? You see how I feel like
a little bit.
I feel like what you're talking about would be something that you need to be like really emotionally strong for. And someone that just runs away from a marriage because they need their alone time doesn't sound like gonna get a lot of alone time with these 5 foster kids. So make it make sense to me, Chloe.
Because I was like, her thinking about everything we've learned about Chloe, her being a minimalist.
Yeah, minimalist.
And then thinking about that and thinking about what we've just learned, I'm just like, where does Michael play into that? Like, he doesn't.
He is like,
she's trying to avoid any alone time with him.
Well, she's just treating him like someone she's just going to plug into her life, because this is like, this is what my life's going to be. I don't really care if you like it or not. You better get on board, because that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, that's not some small space. She's like, yeah, it's a journey. And he was like, well, it's just going to require a different kind of engagement. And she's like, it all starts with having a heart that's ready to give the love that they deserve. Nothing is easy. It's all got to be a little difficult.
And
It doesn't have to be that difficult.
this challenged even Michael, who
Yeah.
with no matter what he's been presented with,
Yes.
he has been like, I'm all about that. Yeah, I'm willing to be here and do what I need to do for you to be emotionally ready for what you need. He's like, nah, girl, I don't know about that.
He's like, you're pushing it.
You're pushing my limits a little bit. You
Right.
push these boundaries, girl.
Yeah, we do get a confessional from him saying he's concerned that their passions for fostering children and the animal sanctuaries are on different levels, and he doesn't feel like right now is an appropriate time to press on that. And he feels like if he tells her that prior to the way he talks is so hard to summarize.
You getting caught up
No,
in this
I
double
know.
talk.
I know. It's hard to summarize like while, talking here and, everyone else basic words.
I think you're in the part where he says he doesn't want to press it right now because they just
Right.
aren't on that level yet. So he doesn't want to go there because they aren't on the level yet where he can go there and be like, nah, I don't want that.
Right. Then he tells her that it's like prior to being with her, it was very hard he had never conceptualized being on a farm or fostering children. And so she's like, yeah, it is a lot to take in. But I just want to make these dreams a reality.
Oh gosh.
These sound like, and I'm not equating her with Austin by any means, because I feel like Austin is a child in a different sense. But these sound like youthful dreams where we know she's 39. And it's not like, oh, I'm on this path. I think it would be really different if she's like, I'm on this path to starting this animal sanctuary. I'm like almost, I've been working on it for about 5 years now. Like we're on the path, and if she had been like, and we don't know, she could be like volunteering with foster children or something like that. If this were her existing life, because we know she's just trying to fit him into it, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like she's trying to fit him into the future life that she wants.
Yeah, it's like, what is the timeline on this? Like, are you expecting to have this done in 5 years, in 10 years? Because like you said, we ain't getting any younger. They're both 38, 39. So you're talking about you want to foster 5 kids. It seems jarring because from the way she's talking, she's going from 0 to 5 foster kids.
Yeah.
Like that. This is like, well, give me the actual plan here, because it almost feels like
start with 1 maybe at a time and work our way up.
See if you like 5. It at 1. See if you like it at 1. Then maybe we can gradually, adjust it.
She said, no, I want a starting 5.
No, you give me the 5 worst you got right
basketball
now.
Team.
Like, ain't nobody taking them. Give them to me. Call me blindside times 5. Okay, that's me. Like it almost seems like they got on this date at an animal sanctuary that was set up by production, and she was just like, you know what? I think I like it.
I have these goals that I want to make a reality.
Yeah, all of a sudden, I've been thinking about this for a long time. All of a sudden.
Like, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate that she does have a heart to want to care this much. Like, she is clearly trying to show that she has a lot of love to just give to the world, right?
She's trying to one up Michael in the humanitarian department. Let's be real. She's like, oh yeah, you wanna buy pizza from a place that donates good causes? How about this? I want to foster 5 kids at a time. Beat that. Beat that, boy. Beat it. Go ahead.
I just feel like, yeah, like you said, they're the thing that's lacking here, that the thing that makes this feel like less of a reality for Michael is the plan, the way to progressively get there. Like, let's start with 100 animals. That's a lot.
Because it for sure seems like this was the first time either one of these topics that everyone brought up. The way that Michael seemed so surprised by, he's like, oh, okay.
He's like, all right.
I can see if this was something that they had been talking about this whole time. About her dreams of it and all this. It just seems like this is the first time he's hearing of this.
Yeah. So we get a time marker, 15 days until their decision day. So we got about 2 weeks for them. They're at a date at like a bar, She pulls him in to kiss her. She's laughing through the kiss. And he kisses with tongue, and he says, yeah, there was some tentacle action.
Sir.
Oh, whatever works for them. So
Aysha's like, bring that tentacle over here, baby.
No, I'm okay. And so we get a confessional from him. He says after the sex store, they slid right into having sex, and he felt like they'd have.
Yes, wonderful.
He felt like they'd have.
Production's like, all of a sudden, Pastor Cal is asking to meet with Michael and Chloe like a bunch now.
He's calling over and over and over.
Can I come tomorrow?
Right. They're like, no, we are going to have an expert visit, but it's not going to be you.
Well, I'm on the plane already, so you might as well just let me talk to him when I get there.
Right. He's like, I'm landing.
On my way over right now.
Michael did feel like they had a good physical chemistry already, and so sex was just the culmination of all that. He asked her, like, what's most important for her in like a living space, because they're discussing like what are they going to do after decision day. And she says, well, we have 5 animals, so size, access fees, and parking. And she was like, so what do you think about like pivoting from an apartment and like looking at a house? And he was like, well, thinking about our leases and stuff. They get to the fact that his lease ends in like June or July and hers ends in December. And so he's like, well, why don't we ride out your lease so we don't have to deal with the headache immediately after? And she's like, oh, so we're going to live together? He's like, well, maybe we can like commit to like 4 or 5 days and then a couple of days recharge. And she's like, well, if we do that, like, will it feel like we're actually married? He's like, well, I think it's something to consider, because remember, you needed time to recharge. And a lot of other people would have thought that what's going on there, but it worked for us to keep that momentum going. So he's basically like, don't forget, you're the one who says you need that time to recharge. I'm the one trying to be considerate right now.
I wasn't sure what she wanted out of this conversation. Does she want to move in together right after?
I think she does.
Okay, because it was like, oh, so you're going to. It was almost like, oh, so you're going to move in with me? We're going to live together? It was almost my thing of like,
oh no, I took it as the flip has been switched for her. I took it as she wants to move. She is all about 24/7 time with Michael now, but he is still at the pace of like, okay, I'm not about to have my expectations through the roof when we got back from a great honeymoon and you wanted some time away. So this is what works.
Bring your skirts, bring your earrings. I'm all in now. I'm good for it now. Come on, bring it on. So yeah, I guess when he mentions their leases, she's like, oh, so you're going to stay in your place after decision day. I think I'm getting that now. Like, she's like,
yeah.
Oh, so you're not going to move in with me right away. You're going to wait. Okay. Yeah, I get it.
And so he said, well, she said, so after they have this conversation, she says, is there anything that's giving you pause? Because I know we talked about the animal sanctuary. I know we talked about fostering, and that's a lot. And he said, look, an animal sanctuary doesn't scare me. 500 animals does. Fostering does not scare me, but fostering 5 children does. And he says, it's not the thought that scares me. It's the intensity that does. I said, preach.
Yes. It was said so well. Yes. And he's serious because he dropped all the other pretense. He's like, listen. He didn't use all the flower language. He's like, listen. Animal sanctuary, cool. 20 animals, great. 500, yeah, no. 2 kids, awesome. 4, it's a lot on your boy. He just drops the pretense of it all. It's like, let me shoot you straight now. And for me, I'm
like, let me make this as clear as possible.
For me, I Michael better than me. I hear animal sanctuary. I'm like, no, what are talking about animal sanctuary. I don't care if you talk about 12 animals. No. We got 5 right now. And it's a lot. Okay.
I love the way he put this, because like, that's the problem here is the intensity of it, the volume. Right. Like, it's not the concept. Because if he were to say, oh no, I'm not down with an animal sanctuary of that size or fostering 5 children, then she would just be like, oh, well, he's not here to do the things that I'm so passionate about. It's like, no, he's not trying to do it in mass.
I'm just like, Chloe, did you tell the people this, that you wanted to foster 5 kids before you started this? Was this a thing you said?
That's something she thought about yesterday.
It wouldn't surprise me if she said, I want to foster 5 kids. They're like, all right, cool. We don't care. We're gonna put you with whoever. No matter if they want to foster 5 kids or not. Like, we're gonna just put you with whoever we want. It wouldn't surprise me, but I wonder if it was just like whoever you pair me with has to be willing to take on 5 foster kids at a time.
Yeah. So this is kind of a little segue, like, well, not a segue. This is a little, subplot, because Michael calls Cameron, and we had all this overlapping. So I'm gonna touch on this. We're gonna dive into the Cameron and Claire of it a little bit, but we do get back to Michael and Chloe. So Michael calls Cameron. Michael's like, last time we saw each other, it's kind of like a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron was like, yeah, I was thinking like a standoff, but you're right. It was more like a shootout. Cameron said it really triggered him when Claire said that there was a theme of being silenced, because he has never once silenced her. He said watching Claire be Emily's puppet master clicked for him that's how it was for them their entire marriage. He said every step of the way, Claire lied to him, and now he's just very glad he's divorcing her, and he actually never wants to speak to her again.
I said, damn, like, he is sick and tired and fed up of all this.
He is. And so he said, so all that aside, I've heard through the grapevine that y'all are doing better than other couples. And Michael's like, yeah, I will validate that the grapevine is correct. He's like, he really needs to just sort through how he feels, though, with his own emotional growth and readiness and his ability to continue through a marriage, because he wants to go into decision day with a clear understanding of how he feels.
He said that the same thing 3 times in the same conversation in 3 different ways.
Yes,
like, man.
He did. And I heard him every time.
You were eating it up. You're like, yes, Michael, yes, say it.
Preach.
Say it. Preach, brother, preach.
And Cameron says, like, to make sure that he considers how they will fit into each other's long-term lifestyles. And Michael says he wants to be able to come out on the other end of this and know that he can foster this specific marriage. And Cameron's like, you might want to consider saying, like, let's be less serious about the marriage after this experiment. I said,
now who's puppet mastering, Cam?
I said, why are you giving this type of advice? This is horrible advice.
He's like, join us. Join us in the divorce club.
Just date.
Yeah.
Go back to the talking stage.
One of us.
Call her your situationship. Throw your ring in the lake.
It'll be okay if you live apart. That's fine.
Right. Ignore her. If she calls you, don't answer. It'll be better.
Tell her you have a heart condition.
Oh my God.
I'll fix everything. I'm joking.
Please leave Cameron.
I know that
Cameron
has a heart condition. I'm not disputing that.
And so Michael's like, well, it's not. He's like, for me, it's not, do I want to continue to date after this, but do I want to continue this marriage? So basically,
Michael said,
I'm serious about this.
That's what you say, Cam. I'm here for the marriage, okay? I'm not going to listen to you try to get into my head about not continuing about dating. No, I'm here for our marriage. He AD'd him. He's like, listen up. If you say no at decision day, it's a no.
I'm done.
You're not continuing this no more.
Basically, Cameron, look at what happened with you. Don't be trying to give me advice. Let me try my way and see what happens.
Production was like, Michael, we're gonna have you call Cam. He's like, for what? He said, for advice. Advice on what?
Right.
He said, just do it. All right, Montre, for you, Montre, I'll do it. But I listen to a word this damn Kiwi says. All right.
I could not believe this advice. So I'm so glad Michael wasn't just like, yeah, maybe we'll try that. He said, no, I'm not trying to continue to date.
He's not even humoring this man. He's like, I respect you, Cam, but F what you just said.
Right. And so Cameron was like, look, if I was with somebody I got along well with, then I would have said yes no matter what. And Michael's like, well, I just want to go into decision day with all the tools possible.
I'm like, Cam, what about all those flowery words you said about Claire in your
She's
decision
the best
day?
person I've
She's
ever
the most
known.
amazing human I've ever met.
He said, you saw that decision day aftermath?
Just straight lying to our faces.
Forget what I said. I was just trying to be nice. She actually texted me before that to say that.
She texted me right before I got on this call with you, Michael.
The words are on my hand. Claire wrote this before I came in.
She's behind the computer with cue cards right now. Tell you what I need to say.
That is my question. For those that watched the episode, it was a phone call, but Michael was being recorded and Cameron was being recorded from some cell phone in the room he was in. Why didn't they just FaceTime?
I don't know. It looked like Cam was being recorded with an iPhone 5. Why is this grainy footage here? What is going on? And why is the angle so terrible?
I was just like, what?
Cam,
I
we
know.
can't over to your house today, Cam. Just, do you have an old phone you can use?
Do you have another camera? He's like, oh, I think I still have my Razor from 7th grade. Perfect.
Great.
Use that because we need recorded footage of you on the other end of this call because FaceTime won't cut it.
Can't do it.
It's like, what?
We just don't have the technology.
we got Google Meets, we got Zoom.
Was
there are
options. Phone up to his ear like he's on a real phone call. Who does this anymore? Who
wait.
the phone up?
You don't hold the phone to your ear anymore?
I mean, I'm typically on I got earbuds I can take calls through.
You said about to say Bluetooth.
Did I say? Well, I mean, it is
were
Bluetooth.
You about to, I know.
It is Bluetooth. I'm not talking about one of those old Bluetooth, with the stem out.
And you always have it in, no matter if you're on a call or not.
Yeah. Just to show I got status. Yeah. Like we used to do back in 2004.
No, if I'm on a phone call, I'm usually on my ear.
I think I'm also just rarely on phone calls. It's either I'm a big texter, I'm a big I only FaceTime my mother because she forces me to. Okay. Otherwise, I'm not on a phone call anymore. Very, very, very rarely.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm usually like this, but and then I'll go on speaker if I need to do things this is gonna be a long one.
Yeah. I mean, if I know it's gonna be long, I'm gonna pop my earbuds in so I don't have to hold the phone. I was talking to somebody a while ago. It was the first time I had actually been on the phone in a long time. And it was so long. I was like, my ears all sweaty. The screen's all wet from my ear sweat. Oh my gosh. This is what it was like to make phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I get home from school, be on the phone, just saying nothing.
Oh, you had friends. That's nice. Just throw it in my face.
No, I will say back in it was 5th grade, I had moved to a new school district and I just made some friends and we would every day go home by 4:00. We're on the phone watching SpongeBob. But SpongeBob came on every day at 4:00.
I was going to say TRL, but that's just another generation, I feel like.
5th grade, we're still 10.
I was watching TRL, you were watching SpongeBob.
Right. Yeah, there was a certain period of time I had seen every episode of SpongeBob, but I grew out of that and they kept making episodes. So now I can just say I've seen almost every episode of Bluey.
That was when you used to know all 150 Pokemon, but then they just kept going and kept going. I can't keep up anymore.
See, I used to have Pokemon cards for the fun of it. I didn't know what I was doing, but people at school had them.
These are pretty pictures.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Hey, you want to trade? I have a couple. I don't know.
He gave away a super rare card for a random element card.
It was more of a social thing for me. I was a social.
Yeah, I wasn't a card guy. I was a video game guy. I was, and the show, of course.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Anyway,
Um,
that's a Jason and Aysha corner for today. Jason and Aysha childhood corner. Hope you enjoyed it.
Right. We'll keep it moving, guys. Sorry. Oh, we do reach Michael and Chloe's 1 month anniversary, which they kind of
Now,
zoom through.
at this point, it says 10 days till decision day. So they're not getting a full 2 months. If this is the month anniversary, we got 10 days left.
Oh,
getting
true.
40
You're
days.
right. Are they getting 6
So-
weeks?
Yeah, they're shortening them a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. So they're at this spa, which they get in this hot tub, and I didn't realize until after party that it was full of beer.
That just sounds gross.
Yeah.
Can't
I
get
wouldn't
with
even
it.
do that with cider.
I just assumed that you bathed in cider. I just assumed cider came out of your shower head.
That it just feels weird. I don't know. I mean, I feel like hot tubs themselves are already kind of like, you know.
Chloe mentioned something after party about how it was just the hops, and I was like, okay, I don't drink beer, so I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they have hoppy cider, and I don't like hoppy cider because it reminds me too much of beer.
So I guess
don't
it
like
wasn't.
beer.
It wasn't like there was no foam in the hot tub of like this is just
Right.
this is just beer. They just popped the tops off beers and just poured them into the hot tub. This is something I guess that made it safe, I guess.
I don't know. So Michael gets in, or they're both in, but Michael is like, I gotta get naked. Okay. I don't, even if it reduces my temperature just a little bit or by a fraction, I got to. So he takes off his little swim trunks, wrings it out barely, throws it, just slaps it on the ground. And Chloe jokes, she's like, me next. She's like, just kidding.
Oh, brother.
She tells him that she feels very happy and peaceful. And like, this is the healthiest relationship she's ever been in her entire life. Naturally, you would think he'd be like, me too, if he felt that way. He just said, I feel very fond of the person that's in front of me. And he's had a taste of someone who will be perpetually and unequivocally, who will perpetually and unequivocally have his back.
I like you, and I like that you're loyal to me.
Feels
like you won't screw me over.
I might have. It wasn't even giving. I have a crush on you. It was like, I like you as a person.
It's very professional business. It's like you're a very nice person.
I could work with you again.
Yeah,
I could work with you on the next project.
We make good work colleagues.
Right.
Did you catch Cam calling Claire his
yes,
his work colleague on after party? Oh,
the way Cam argues is so funny. He's
nice. I actually have the text, so I have the text in context, Becca. Yo.
We are literally about to talk about that part of After Party this entire podcast. Sprinkled in.
We could have made a one-off podcast about that 30 minutes of the after party.
Absolutely. And so she asked him, did he ask for anything that he feels like he didn't get? And then the opposite of that, did he get anything that, or I didn't
see. That's what I'm saying.
No, this is Chloe asking.
Yes, both of them do this. Both of them talk.
But I don't like it when she does it.
Yeah, you only like when Michael does it. We get that. We know that. But they talk in such circles. You have no idea what they said. I think the gist of what she was saying was, did you get something that you didn't want? Yeah. Or did you want something that you didn't get? I think is what it was.
Yes, basically.
Parse that out for what it is.
Yes.
Figure it out in your head.
So he was like,
always got to interpret what they say. Like,
right.
Think about now what they say. What did it actually mean in layman's terms?
It's actually impossible to take notes during their section.
It is. It really is.
I have to keep my remote close by to pause to gather the sentence that was just said.
Make sure you got your subtitles on when Michael and Chloe are around.
Right. And so he says if they had told him that they have someone for him that wants an animal sanctuary, then he would have said yes. And so he asked her the same thing. So he didn't give a real answer. So he asked her the same thing. She said she asked for an empathetic man. She asked for a 6'3" man with a man bun with yoga muscles who she could find in the Whole Foods produce section. And she's like, he's 5'11". He has a man bun, so we can work that fantasy.
Close enough.
Right?
That's basically what she said.
Yeah.
And that's true. I mean, it's pretty close. It's pretty
Yeah.
close. But that's very specific.
Right. That's like a joke on TikTok. And like that's my favorite part of TikTok is the comments. Like that really can make or break a thing.
I meant to ask you, are you okay?
It still has too much to go through to be official.
Okay,
So
I just want to
they'll talk to me about nonsense.
Make sure you're okay, because for those of you that hadn't heard, they're looking at banning TikTok in the U.S. I think Asia might have to move if that happens. I don't know. It's like, I'm out of here. Y'all losing TikTok. Y'all losing me too.
That is a primary form of my entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, my screen time will go down ridiculously. So
you won't just filter to the other apps to do the same exact thing as TikTok?
You'd have to, you don't understand. The For You page on TikTok knows you at your core. Like it knows just what you need to see next. Yep.
It's like your best friend who's there for you.
Right. So there's a joke on TikTok where people say like let's say someone sings Beyonce or looks like Beyonce, right? Then they'll comment, they'll be like, close enough. Where's the next album? So it's like if anybody like looks or sounds like somebody else, they'll be like, close enough, and then ask a question related to like that celebrity. That tickles me every time. And so anyway, Chloe asked if they are on the trajectory of being each other's person. And didn't he ask like, or so are you saying like, are we in love yet or something like that?
She said, are we on the trajectory of saying what did she say? Saying the word or saying the L word? She intimated something about love.
Yes. And so he was like, I feel like we can grow at our own pace, where we can one day be in love. I don't think she liked this answer. I don't think she liked it.
Didn't.
She definitely wanted him to be like, I think I do love you. I think she really thought he was going to say.
I think even a yes would have
been better
done good. That. And he kind of said yes, but again, in his double speak, and he must say the most maximum words possible, he made it sound worse than it was. I think what he ended up saying was yes, but then he classified it too much. Yes. And then it made it sound like maybe.
But I like you.
Yeah, I think what he meant to say was, yeah, I think we're on a good pace.
And so she wants to make sure they're aligned. And she's like, so if decision day is tomorrow, what would you say? He's like, I think we're trending towards the positive direction, towards a yes. But to say yes, I need an emotional connection. I'm not saying that we don't have one yet, but I need an emotional connection that we can sustain and want to continue in this marriage.
Too much. But the only worst thing you can ask of like, where are you on an answer right now for decision day is rate our relationship 1 to 10. Like that's the only other worst thing you can do in these situations.
Right. Yes. Married at first sight 101. Never ask what the person is going to say if decision day was tomorrow. Mm-hmm. It's not. Okay.
Don't ask something about percentages. Don't ask something about scales. Don't ask something about the numbers.
Don't ask them to rate you.
Yeah, worst thing you can do.
And it's all been done. Across the past 17 seasons, it's all been and every time the person is disappointed. There was a certain point that even Brennan and Emily would have said yes if decision day was tomorrow. They were talking at the honeymoon. Mm-hmm. So she said, okay, well, hearing you say that feels like it'll be a no tomorrow. He was like, well, I would say that I have insufficient data.
Brother. I would say, well, then I guess it's a good thing decision day is actually tomorrow. So let's
So let's keep it pushing. Happy 1 month. She's like, well, happy 1 month anniversary.
Brother, sarcastic. This is the most sarcasm you can ever muster.
Right. Happy 1 month anniversary. So they're sitting on their couch in their living room. She's a little nervous because they have an expert coming. She's he was like, are you scared? She's like, no, just a little bit more on edge. Dr. Pia shows up, our resident expert.
Yeah, she's definitely got an apartment in Denver somewhere.
Right. We get a confessional from Chloe. She's like, I have no idea how we are because I thought we were fine, but he said he doesn't know what his answer would be if decision day were tomorrow.
There's been a whole day since that happened. You haven't you haven't broached the subject anymore. You just left it at that. Like, I don't know.
So Dr. Pia asked them how they're doing. Michael says like they haven't had much misalignment about values or perspectives, like budgeting and living situations. Like they agree on all of that. And Dr. Pia is like, well, how's y'all's families? And he's like, well, I met her mother at the wedding. My mom wasn't there. And so maybe like soon she'll meet my mom. And Dr. Pia was like, what? She hasn't met your mom?
What?
Yeah. He's like, yeah, no, she hasn't met her yet because my mom doesn't know that I'm married. Dr. Pia is like, really? He's like, yeah, I wanted to include her after decision day. And Dr. Pia was just so confused. And Chloe's like, well, I actually encourage this. I encourage this mindset because there's no need in elevating feelings of anxiety or confusion.
I don't want to start no trouble when it didn't need to be no trouble. Okay.
Right. Don't start none. It won't be none.
Yeah.
Dr. Pia asked him if they've have any concerns, right? And so he says, like, we've talked at a high level about how soon they're going to move in together, and since their lease is in 6 months apart, and so they're trying to figure that out. And Dr. Pia tells him like she doesn't think it's a good idea to live separately, and he's like, I've never been married before, so I'm trying to figure this out. He's like, I have this categorical checklist. Like, okay, do I like her? Yes. This, yes. This, yes. And so he knows what he wants to feel. And he just wants to feel at his best on like when decision day comes. And then Chloe says she wants them to live together, but if they choose to stay together on decision day and they want to continue this marriage, then she doesn't think that living together will impact that.
Pia said, I just told you it would.
It will. Yeah, exactly.
I literally just said that. Did you not hear me?
So Chloe's like, she says that she feels that this has been the most mature and most satisfying relationship she's ever been in. And this is just a complete contrast because I thought that based on the confessional, I thought Chloe was going to take this opportunity to express her concern about, he said, if this is David's tomorrow, he would say no.
It sounded exactly like that.
But she didn't say it, right? She says this is the happiest and the healthiest, and this is the greatest, and this is the best relationship in all existence. And so Dr. Pia is like, okay, I'm a little concerned about authenticity here because it feels like things are being withheld.
Yes, Dr. Pia, call them out, drag them.
Call Chloe out.
No, both of them. Both of them. I think Dr. Pia is now.
I feel like he's rubbing off on her.
Yes, I do. I do think that. I also think Dr. Pia, she's having to fight this whole season. I think she's now just in the fight mindset. She's just like, all right, let's break something off right now. Y'all fake. Go ahead, y'all fake. She's just used to fighting now with Brendan and with Austin. She's like, all right, let's start this stuff up. She's just now in that fighting mindset because she's had to do it all season. She's just starting stuff now. Like y'all are fake.
And it low-key felt like Chloe wanted to fight because Chloe
like,
was not.
How dare you?
Meanwhile, Michael wanted to be, and I love you anyway, Dr. Pia.
I feel where you are emotionally and how you may think that and how you may say I may not be bringing my most authentic self to the table in this new paradigm of a marriage that I'm in right now. But I really think that you should examine your biases and your perspectives and really think again about how I may be my most inauthentic or authentic self.
Okay, not him rubbing off on you too. Chloe says she didn't come in here giving a
damn what anyone thinks about.
what
She said
anybody thought.
I gotta punctuate it with a curse word
Yeah.
to make it seem more real.
And did you see Dr. Pia? She said,
Oh,
right, okay.
I think you're being authentic because you said a curse.
She said she's going to be raw. She came in here and she said she was going to be raw. Dr. P was like, okay, I don't know if it's me. I don't know if it's the cameras. I just want y'all to just make sure y'all are at least being honest with each other when I leave. She's like, because I just feel like, that's, how what she just said she felt. Here's the thing, because that's it for Michael and Chloe. Mm-hmm. I think that Michael is the right guy for Chloe. I do not think that Chloe is the right woman for Michael.
Okay.
And I think that's what it's going to boil down to.
Break it down for me, though. Why do you think that?
I think that Chloe needs somebody as patient and understanding as Michael. I think she needs somebody who will allow her to just like let loose a little bit because she is so structured in her life and her lifestyle. And I think that Michael is the kind of guy that allows her to like get deeper in her emotions, to sit in her emotions, let her feel those emotions without any consequences or backlash
he's not a Brendan
annoyance.
Who's gonna like
exactly.
It feels like if Chloe expresses her emotions, he's gonna be like, oh, this chick, man, like this just feels like Brendan would say something like that.
Yes,
like, she's always crying, she's always got a problem, whereas Michael is more accepting of his partner's emotions. And I was like, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that.
And so I'm like, he is the perfect guy for her. But what does she do for him? Like, not her abilities, right? But thinking about Michael, it feels like a one-way relationship. Like it's all the positives about what he can do for her. But if we look at it on the opposite end, what about Chloe is great for Michael?
Michael said, you know what about Chloe does it for me? She didn't stand me up at the altar.
Right. That's all it
takes. What I can get. But I also don't know. I don't think I've gotten enough information about what Michael wants and what Michael needs out of a partner. So I can't say whether or not I think Chloe is the one for him because I don't think he's really articulated that yet to us of what he needs. Like, just seems to me like he could just kind of really use a nice lady. I don't know. Like, I just don't feel like I know what Michael needs or wants.
I feel like there are moments. I feel like if we could just try to read between the lines, there are moments when Michael tries to be funny. I think he needs somebody who can feed off of that. Like Michael wants to be playful and have he's always joking, trying to joke. But Chloe's
they're on the same. I feel like they're on the same level of corny, though. I feel like
no. I mean, I feel, but I don't know. I feel like it's different. Like I feel like there's telling a joke and then having an audience or being an active participant in that joke. Like, I feel like he could really thrive with somebody who's like feeding off of him.
Yeah, I've just never felt the connection between Michael and Chloe. I'm with Dr. Pia. I think they're both trying to be very friendly and nice throughout this whole thing. And they're doing that so much that they're not really getting to, as Clint would say, the crusty bits. I just don't think they're going that far deep into it. I think they're both just trying to be so nice right now that they're not digging deeper.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the first Michael's heard of foster kids in an animal sanctuary. So obviously they're not digging that deep. Like, I just feel like it's very surface level at the moment. They're trying to make us think it's not surface level by throwing all these words at us. But I think in reality, it is very surface level still.
All right. Well, if we had to rate them 1 to 5, 1 being we think they'll be together by the reunion, 1 being we don't think they will be, 5 being we do think they'll be together by the reunion, what are you thinking?
I think normally if we had a couple that had consummated their marriage, we would be, and there's no big hiccups in an episode, I think we'd be pretty high. I actually think I'm going to bring my rating down. I don't know where we last left off.
You were at a 4 last time.
Ooh, honestly, I kind of bring this down to a 2 because I'm just not feeling it with them. Yeah, I just don't see it with them. I really don't.
Yeah, I was at a 3. I'm bringing it down to a 2 as well. I just feel like, yes, Michael says a lot of words, but he's saying something. And I feel like he's telling us, yeah, I kind of like her. She, we've been
But
having
is it? But
fun
is it enough?
being,
I think
yeah,
is what he said.
not
Is it
enough.
enough? Yeah, it's not
No.
enough yet.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it's just they are speaking different languages. She's speaking, this is the healthiest, most stable relationship I've ever been in. And he's like, I have insufficient data is where Michael is at. So
It's almost like that ultimatum season with that guy and that girl. He was like, I'm catching feelings. And she's like, oh, bless your heart.
oh yeah.
That's so nice to hear.
You're right. Yes.
That's almost what it's giving.
Yes. So switching gears, never would have imagined we would spend an hour on Michael and Chloe,
Hey,
but it's really not that much from the other people.
no.
So
We took a couple deviations into childhood stuff.
Yeah.
And talk on the phone. And
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
We did get 2 days after decision day. Emily is with Claire and Becca. This is one of those shot on an iPhone scenes. They said none of their husbands have texted them. I'm sorry. Why would Brennan or Cameron text?
Why would any of these people want to talk to you again after what just happened? Like, y'all tried to eviscerate them. Y'all tried to gang up on them and kill them, basically. Like, why would they all of a sudden, why would these people all of a sudden come around to your side of thinking and be like, you know what? I was so wrong. Because that's what they want. They just want apologies at this point. They don't want nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
They want apologies.
It's
Becca
the girl version of the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what this is.
Was a She-Woman Man Haters Club.
Yes, that's exactly what this is. They're just getting together, and it's just like it's a witch's coven. It's just like they're stirring the pot. They're stirring the pot.
Did I tell you I went to high school with one of the people from Little Rascals?
No, but it doesn't surprise me. Of course, you have some connection to everything and everyone. Which Little Rascal did you go to high school with, Asia? Please tell us.
I think it's Stymie. He's black. He's bald. He wore the hat.
Yes, I recall.
Okay, yeah, him. Yeah, he was in band too. So
how's he doing nowadays?
He was doing well back when I knew him. I'm not sure how he's doing now. I kind of want to look him up.
The Little Rascals fame didn't go to his head.
It did not. He went to my church too, so I know of his dad, and yeah.
Oh my God! Add that to the list, y'all. Add that to the list of people that Aysha Welch knows. Von Miller's cousin, right. Rascals, met Bow Wow once.
It's just, hey,
that girl from The Circle.
Wait, the girl from The Circle. Oh yeah, Cat Bell.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Michaela from Survivor. Put them all on there. Go ahead.
It's just all the people, like literally what high school, college now was over 10 years ago. Everybody's doing their own thing.
Why haven't you met anyone since? What, you been slacking? You've been not meeting these celebrities out in the streets lately?
I know. I'm trying to think if I've seen anybody out and about. No, I saw somebody.
The owner of that barbecue place by your house. Remember that one?
Don't talk about the barbecue place. Whatever. So anyway. Let's see. Okay, so it's Emily, Claire, and Becca. And Becca says, if Austin was willing to lie in front of people who actually saw him out with her, what else is he willing to lie about? Which I told you last episode. I told you that's what she's going to be thinking.
Yeah.
And then Claire said when she knew Cameron felt guilty when he wouldn't even look her in the eye.
He doesn't want to. First of all, he can't look you in the eye unless he looks, way down there to get your eyes, Claire. He's like 3 feet above you.
He's like, wait.
Where you at, little one?
Right.
And I'm sure he left because he didn't want to say something that he was going to regret. I think that's partly the reason why he left that day, plus because of the heart thing.
Yeah, and so Emily was like, and he yelled at me.
He yelled back at me after I yelled at him.
Yeah. And Emily's like, we got each other. And Becca's like, yeah, I really like strengthen our backbones.
Man, they're just the most gassing up you can do. Just like
Yeah,
like
for
you got it, you
sure.
really got him, girl. You got it. Like, yeah, he treated you so horribly. You know, I'm sure they right after the cameras left, they all got their little voodoo dolls out and they all did the little spells over the over the dolls. Here's a
So,
little Brennan one. Here's a little Austin one. Here's a Cam one. We threw in an onion one too, even though Lauren's not here.
right, just in case for safe measure.
I'm glad they haven't pulled Lauren into all their nonsense yet, even though she was a big part of that whole pizza party
she said,
gate.
I don't want, she said, I am living my best life. I want nothing to do with nothing.
Well,
They're like, hey, we're hanging out.
She was chiming in on that pizza party though, but she's like, you know what? I don't like how I was that night. I'm gonna set this one out, y'all.
She said, this
Y'all
is
go
kind of
ahead.
interesting.
Yeah.
This is kind of fun. And so we get a 3 days after decision day. Becca's packing up all her stuff. Claire comes over to help. They give each other a big hug. Becca's like, oh, Claire, did you finish packing up? She said, yeah, it took me an hour. I packed up all my stuff. It's all in the car. Why haven't you been packed?
You should have been gone.
You should have been gone weeks ago. Why are you packing the same time as Becca?
My tenant for my apartment finally left so I can go move back into my place.
Right.
But I also caught when they hugged, Becca's like, oh, did you shower? Claire's like, yeah. Becca's like, I wish I had the time or something like that. I was like,
oh, I didn't even catch
what?
that.
What are you talking about? Why did y'all leave that in, producers?
It's too personal.
It's too much.
And so Claire was like, have you talked to Austin? Beck was like, I talked to him this morning and he doesn't understand why he can't have the producer as a friend and be married. She's like, I can't be in a relationship with someone who hasn't done that work to not be toxic and not gaslight.
I need more answers. After party didn't answer the questions. Are y'all saving her for the reunion? I need to know about this producer. I need to know what the deal is.
I think we can figure something out.
Okay, well, you'll dissect it later, I guess.
Well, hear me out. So okay. Becca, she said, maybe in a different lifetime we would have worked. We get a confessional. Becca's like, she really thought they had a shot, and it crumbled less than 24 hours later. She just has to get used to how to move forward. Claire asked, what's she gonna do about the fish? And Becca said the petty side of her wants to just take the one fish and then so they can be separated. So you remember they named their fish in that one episode.
After the producers.
Yes, after their producers. And I think the woman's name may be the producer. Because why would Becca be mad about the fish? Remember?
No, I remember them talking about they named the fish after the producers. I thought that the fish thing was like she was saying, I get one, you get one. I'm taking my fish and going home. But then she said she didn't want to separate the fish. I didn't think the fish had anything to do with like the producer's name or whatever, but I don't know.
The names, I mean, that feels like a direct sign. They named it because that also was like, who cares about them getting fish together? I remember I was like, this felt like such a pointless scene.
Why do they drop that for us to come back to later?
Egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This will be important later. Right. Remember this moment.
Remember this for episode 21. And so Becca says there is a certain level of trust you need to have in your partner to make it work. She tells the fish goodbye. She said, y'all will have a new mom and she'll be Christian and she'll pray over y'all.
See, she talked to both fish though. She didn't just talk to one fish. She talked to both of them.
How is she going to ignore one fish?
It's like, hey, boy fish, come over.
Close your ears. She takes it out. She's like,
yeah. And she takes the other fish out, just leaves it on the counter and is gasping for water. Like,
oh my, that would be straight up evil.
Hey, woman scorned.
But I really think that might have something to do with it, especially since they named the fish the producers. But
could be.
But I was like, what this shade at Austin's future future person being Christian.
I mean,
Like,
it's
I
like
could give it up.
it's almost like, oh my god, I totally forgot the thing about
That
the thing
was
about
an
religion.
issue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Completely
uh,
forgot. Um, so we get Emily, she's packing up, all her clothes. I mean, this girl has 3 closets worth.
I mean, she brought her whole life here. Like,
Yes, I think she must have thought this is your new permanent home.
yeah, like we're gonna stay here
Yes.
after D-Day, right? They're like, no, Emily, you're staying here for the 2 months, and then you're gonna figure something else out. This is not your permanent residence. Do not change your mailing address to this apartment.
The way that apartment looked though is the way it looks when you're moving out and you've been living there a year.
And then, and so I mean, you're gonna get to it, but she leaves the apartment as if she's leaving for the last time, and there's still a
Mhm.
mess in this whole apartment. Like, are you just gonna leave this here?
I told you, yes. It's literally like somebody been living there a year, and you just
Uh,
there's just so many trips you got to make because it's just all the little things, all the little knickknacks you didn't know where to put.
yeah, she puts the keys on the table. She puts a ring on the table as if she will never see this apartment again.
What about Becca putting those glass bowls in that suitcase? I
Uh,
was like,
just anything to get it out of there. They made sure when Becca was packing to show us the N64 in her bag. Did you see that?
I didn't.
There are several quotes from the N64. Like, see, remember guys, they played N64 together.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, I just can't get over Emily leaving the apartment and just a mess everywhere.
Yeah.
This woman is a slob, okay? I think that's part of what turned Brennan off, okay?
She says she gets a call from her friend Steph, and she's like, it's got to go back to being Emily, party of one. She said this
She loves
multiple
that line.
times, which
She
is
loves that
funny.
line.
Yes, she does. And I think it's funny because it's like when you go, like, when you're going to like friend's wedding, you're just a party of one. It's
Mhm.
like that language, I guess. But she says she feels like she hasn't had time to process anything. She feels like she just needs to travel, because it'll help her get out of a dark place. And she feels like she'll get really sad when she's back at home alone in her room. And we get a confessional where she just feels she'll be stronger and better from this. And she's crying, and the producer's like, "Why are you getting so emotional?" She's like, "It's just been an emotional week." And so Becca, she's helping Emily move back into her home.
At this point, I was like, "Are we gonna ever check back in with the guys? Like, is this episode all gonna be the women?
Right.
Where are we?"
Becca says, it sure would have been nice to have a man to help. No, Becca, we got this. We don't need no men to help.
I forgot which one was that, but too bad they're all D-wads.
I think Emily said that.
Oh gosh.
And we get a confessional from Emily. She says, Becca is the most articulate and strong and powerful woman, and she's just been helping me so much since the beginning. Today, so they sit and talk, and Becca says she remembers in the honeymoon, uh, at baby them realizing, things were right, and or realizing things weren't right, and then everything just turning to anger. And Emily's like, yeah, I've just never liked dating. And I just don't want to go back out there until I've worked on everything else about myself. And Becca doesn't want to date until she knows she can be a better partner than she was to Austin, which I'm like, okay, that's a good perspective.
All the meanwhile, Claire is behind the camera mouthing the words as she reads the script.
Right. She's cut. No, Becca. Let me find out that's why Claire's been here this entire time.
Yep, she has to guide
Make sure they know
her
what to
people.
say.
Yeah.
So Emily says that, she's like, they thought that they could treat us that way for a reason. So they're really having this like introspective. I do like this from them because this isn't a blame the men conversation. This is a let me take a step back and see what role I played in this marriage.
This is also, it's mostly the men's fault, but I probably did a little something to contribute to this.
I'm not totally innocent.
Let me let it look like I'm taking a little bit of accountability here.
And so Emily says she feels like this relationship will help her will help steer her away from so many other bad ones. And she says, she used to always just react, and so she's come a really long way. And Becca was like, "You're going to be an amazing partner to someone someday." And Emily starts crying, and then they hug. No, I'm kidding. Emily starts crying, and then that's it. So they're really there for each other. So it was like this. I think we talked about it last week, where them being able to go through this process together has its pros and its cons. Pros, moments like this. Cons, it probably wouldn't have crashed and burned so heavily if they weren't egging each other on with
And
Claire in the director's seat.
I think we've seen the pros and cons play themselves out in different ways in different seasons.
Yes.
Since this change has come about, where all the couples interact together, we've seen it be great because the women support each other, but they don't dive too deep into each other's relationships. This is the con side,
Mm-hmm.
where you get a little too deep into each other's relationships, and it ends up kind of affecting things in a
Mm-hmm.
negative way. So I think this is definitely, because there's been a lot of talk online about how this is terrible. Claire has sabotaged all these relationships. And remember the good old days where the couples never met and they were all just in their own relationships and blah blah blah. So it will take its effect in different ways in each season.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember an Alexis and Kristen relationship. We love that relationship. Kirsten and Jasmine, Kirsten and why am I blanking? Kirsten and Jasmine.
Kirsten. Yeah, Jasmine.
Kirsten and Jasmine. It manifests itself in good ways. This manifested itself in bad ways for this
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
So let's get into the boys segments of this, okay? Enough with the chicks, all right? Enough with the ladies, okay?
If you don't get out of here.
We're gonna start this bro fest with Austin finally moving back into his old place. He has to skulk back to his old roommate, hat in hand, and say, "Can I come back and live with you?" So
He
he's
said,
back.
"Oh, I rented your room out."
Yeah. Oh, too late. He says, he does say he's with his old roommate. I do not know her name. He says, Kyla. He says he's gonna really miss Becca, but he's excited to get back into his old habits and old routines. His roommate asks him, "Well, how are you feeling about it all?" He says, "It really sucks." He says, he talks about the issue of filming and that made her feel like he was being inauthentic. He does say, he talks about how, well, the thing is, I went out with this producer, and the way that he phrases this, I'm like, ooh, yeah, this bad.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I went out with this producer, and Becca found out that I lied to her, and it was definitely a mistake, and it was the worst. Yesterday was the worst day I've experienced in 10 years. I said, wow, that's strong language. First of
Right.
all, that you went out with the producer and Becca found out, which means that you were like legit trying to hide this from her.
Mm-hmm.
And that he full throatedly says, I lied to her. I was like, oh wow, he's definitely
Yeah.
this is definitely a thing. Because in the moment, I thought Austin was just like, I don't know, I thought I wasn't supposed to say anything about us going out with producers on camera. I didn't know that was the thing I was supposed to say. I thought that's what he was doing in the moment, but now it's just like, oh yeah, he's just
No,
fully
he just
admitting
lied
he
to
lied.
her.
Yeah, I just lied. Which really gives of no, we've had issues with this producer. We've talked about it before, and I was not supposed to be hanging out with this producer. I knew
Right.
better and still did it anyway. And then he tells Kyla that he reached out to Becca to talk about things after the whole pizza party, and it's like, yeah, that was a mistake. He said, yeah, he does say he should have taken what? Why does it say Brennan 20? Oh my gosh,
That's
really?
what it. Yeah. So
Oh
if
no,
if you watch the episode, they labeled Austin as Brennan. It says Brennan, 28, Emily's ex-husband. I'm
come on,
showing a
MAFS.
picture of Brennan or of Austin.
Come on, MAFS.
I was like, what? So I had to take a picture of my TV. This is when we first saw his scene. But yeah, straight up, wrong person.
Who is doing the proofreading over there? Who's doing the proofing of these scenes? But yeah, he does tell us he reached out to Becca. That was a bad idea, and she told him that he should have taken time after D-Day to think about things. And the roommate is trying to throw him a bone. He's like, "Yeah, but you were right. You were really processing this. You were really thinking about the relationship." He's like, "Yeah, no, I wasn't."
He said, no, I actually completely
No,
disconnected.
he said I disconnected. he says, it really felt like when I spoke to her that she was really expecting an apology, but I didn't really give her one. And the roommate's like, yeah, if that was me, I probably would be expecting the same thing. So I can kind of relate to what she's talking about right now. I did like how she kind of held him accountable a little bit. I like how he kind of held himself accountable a little bit here. Becca did tell him that the roommate says, well, is there any way like to fix things, or have you talked to her since? He says, no. Becca told me she basically wanted to disconnect completely from each other. No talking, no following on Instagram, no nothing. He says this is one of the hardest times of his life, and the hard thing is that she has lost all trust and faith in him, and it's really tainted him for her. And it's hard to hear that from someone that you really care about. The roommate asks, so where do you go from here? He says, I don't know. I just don't know.
He never knows.
Never knows. Austin is so immature in relationships that he can't match emotional wits with Becca, which is the whole problem. I think if he had someone that was as chill and laid back as he was, that'd be one thing. But I think the levels that they are at emotionally, they just do not match on that regard at all. And I think that's the biggest thing that is holding them back from, because they could have been good, but it's just the different level of maturity is not where it should be.
And you say, his maturity in relationships. I'll go to as far as to say just period, because he on After Party, this man says he's not even watching the season. He can't even face it by watching the season.
Yeah, I don't know if I could blame him for that, because it's a pretty bad look for him after like episode 5. It's just like not a great look for us after that point. I give him like episode 10. I forgot we had 21 episodes deep. He went pretty deep with us, thinking he was the golden child of husbands. But after a certain point, it's like, yeah, this is a bad look. I think he knows it's going to be a bad look, so he's just trying to avoid as much as he can.
Yeah, I was just flabbergasted, because I'm like, I feel like just the desire. I feel like it could be not so much a learning opportunity, but just like a moment of like self-reflection to watch it back and just even be able to see the different perspectives. That's because that's what he's missing. He's missing the Becca that, when she wasn't with him, like to see what she was really thinking, the things that she wasn't saying to him. And I'm like, the fact that he's not even watching it, like if I'm Becca, I'm like, okay.
So you don't want to learn to get better. You don't want
to. You just don't want to. Okay.
Well, I mean, he kind of says
as
much. In After Party, he says, wow, that was a really interesting perspective, actually watching it back. It's like, yeah, you think?
Yeah. Duh. Gosh.
So stupid Austin, I hate you.
He really grinds my gears.
You really grind my gears. So continuing on with the bro parade, we visit with Brennan and one of his buddies to go shoot pool. He meets up with his friend Chris to play pool. We see this bartender giving them drinks. And
I knew it. I said Brennan was way too friendly with that.
He's like, wow, that bartender is really cute. I was like, oh my gosh, really?
I said, here, it's just a stark contrast to, we just saw Becca and Emily talk about how Emily said, I'm not even going to date until I start working on myself. Like, until I have worked on what I need to work on. Here goes Brennan. Should I go get her number? He might as well said that.
You think I get her number, bro? Like, what do you think? This is just such a bro. There was even something different in Brennan's register. The way he was talking was like, do you change up your vocal tics when you're different people you're around? Because he has such alpha bro energy, even more than he usually does in this whole thing.
Yes.
So his buddy Chris asked him, so how's the transition?
Is this the same guy that he FaceTimed?
No, this is not the same guy. This is a different guy.
Okay.
So Chris asked him how the transition's going. I think that guy's name was Richie or something like that. This is Chris. He asked him how's it going, and he reminds Brendan. He's like, "Well, you were the one that said divorce wasn't an option, right?" Brendan said, "Well, I was just so miserable. I had to put my pride aside and come to terms with actually getting divorced, bro. You know what I mean?" Chris asked if this experience has soured Brendan on marriage. Bro says, no, it was cool to have someone to go through stuff with, bro. You know what I'm saying? Brendan says that this has really taught him to ask more questions that go deeper. He says he'll definitely do that in his next relationship. Chris asks him if he has any regrets on how he handled things. Brendan says, he did make mistakes. He cared about Emily, but there were moments that came up, and he brings up he actually tries his best to put his spin on this. He says, well, I was going through the diary cams because I wanted to relive some of our memories. This is the first time, like, okay.
Yeah, I just really want to, I was just thinking about Emily. I said, I want more of her. Let me look back at all the
Pastor
great
Cal would
times.
as Pastor Cal would say, that's BS.
Yeah.
He says, when I was looking through the diary cams, I saw her talking a bunch of stuff about me. So, I asked her to delete it because that's not a good look. And she then accused me of being controlling because of that. And that's pretty much when I knew that we weren't meant to be each other's lives. You know what I mean, bro? Chris says, are you ever see her again? Bird says, yeah, no need to open up those wounds. I have nothing I need to say. You know what I'm saying, bro? Chris says, well, it sounds like you have some things that have been left unsaid. In confessional, Chris does say, Brendan doesn't seem to have gotten the closure that he needs. And it really seems like, he's got some more stuff off to get off his chest. Brendan says he will do what is best for him, and he will walk away with his head held high. I was like, is this leading something else that Brendan's gonna reveal some other stuff? Like, I feel like this is like leading up to something else in a future episode. It's one of those things they flash on the screen. Remember this moment. we're gonna come back to this.
I think it's mostly just Brennan moving on. Like he didn't care about this in the first place. He's been over it for weeks. And so it was just like putting a pin in it. And so when Brennan ultimately starts going on a date in episode 23, we're not surprised.
Yeah. It just felt like with Chris being like, I don't know. It feels like he has more to say. That's teeing us up for Brennan having more to say in a future episode. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're going to find a reason for them to all get together.
I mean, we got a reunion coming up. We got more.
You don't think they'll all get together before then?
No, honestly, I don't think they will. They did the whole it was tough because back in the day when we had our last episode of the season, we would all get together after decision day and talk about all our decisions. We had that moment. I don't know if we're gonna get another one. I kind of doubt. I think we'll mostly stick with guy meetings and girl meetings, I think, up until the reunion.
Yeah.
But who knows? I could be dead wrong. But now we are 9 days after decision day, and we get a check-in with Becca and Austin again. They're each talking to their people. Austin is hanging out with his buds. Becca is talking to one of her friends on FaceTime.
Okay. Question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Becca's friend on FaceTime. Did she remind you of anybody?
No. Is she supposed to?
She looks just like Jan from The Office.
Okay, I can see it. For those that aren't on the YouTube, get on the YouTube. Aysha's showing a picture of this woman. Yeah, I guess I can see it. I
was
guess
like,
so.
that looks like that could be Jan from The Office sister or Jan.
You just had time today, didn't you?
I was so amused. I said I should take more pictures of my discolored TV.
Mm-hmm. That's some bright saturation you got there. I can see why you got problems.
Oh, but is it really?
Mm-hmm. But yes, Becca's talking to her Jan lookalike friend. She talks about the fact that she let things slip because she I guess this is her business partner as well. She's like, yeah, I have some Venmo payments I owe you. She's like, yeah, I let some stuff slip because I was prioritizing Austin so much. Friend says, wow, I've never really seen you be in a relationship that takes so much time and energy for you. And it kind of sucks that you spent all that time and energy and it all amounted to nothing. It's like, oh okay, thanks. Thanks, friend.
Wow.
Really sucks you did all that.
Wasted your time.
Yeah, you did all that for nothing. Wow. Just for him to cheat on you like that and really just leave you like that. Oh my gosh, I feel so sorry for you. Okay.
It's like, what are you gonna do with the last 8 weeks that you wasted? You won't get that time back.
You're not getting that time back, You just waste all that time on him. Right. Her friend tells her, not to be so hard on herself. And Becca says she knows that she can be really critical and have high expectations, and she can be so demanding. And she's not sure if she, was doing those things in this relationship that kind of, push Austin away. And she keeps playing that game of wondering if she gave up too easily, or if she says she knows he was working on these things, or she give up too easy. She's second guessing herself in this moment. Friend says, well, the way to grow is to talk about things. And when you try to talk about those things with him, he shut it down. So that just kind of shows that he wasn't ready to grow with you. Becca says, she knows that Austin's going to grow from this, and it kind of sucks that she won't be there to reap the benefits. The friend says, well, I just want to make sure that the solution is not to run back to him. Becca says, yeah, maybe with time I'll come to realize that. I said, okay. I said, wow, Becca is looks like it's time to get her run shoes on, because she might be running right back to Austin.
Yeah, it's because I don't know. It's like, is she missing the companionship, or is she realizing that she just made a mistake? Like she made too quick of a decision.
It's so weird to talk so much trash about someone in one moment, and the very next moment be like, yeah, but I kind of miss him though.
Well, you see, when she's saying it, she's saying she misses him when she's not with director Claire or Emily.
Yeah, she's got too much sense in her head when the people aren't around to tell her what she should be thinking and feeling. Claire's like, Emily, you're supposed to be on Becca duty today.
Right.
You're supposed to be making sure she was going back to Austin. So the friends ask her, so Austin's with his buddies, they're eating lunch or something. They ask him how it's going. Austin says his now patented line, and he says, every time we see Austin, it's really been a roller coaster. A lot of ups and downs. He said it's ended on a down note, which is really tough. So the friends go, all right, what did you do? He says, oh, yeah, you got me. He says, there's a lot of stuff I would have done differently. He says he knows he effed up, and he talks about when he talks again about when he talked to her recently, and she pretty much gave him the indication there was no salvaging this relationship. He said he didn't want to try to make it work, but he knows there's a lot of good there. He says even the differences, we could find good things in those. So the friends go, is there no hope? Austin says, I don't know, man. I don't know. I really feel like they're setting up an Austin Becca reconciliation, which I think will probably be kaput by the time we get to reunions. But I don't know.
Yeah, they do seem like there's unfinished business.
Yeah, for sure. There's some other thing that happens here. Lost the notes.
You didn't think archery games were fun?
Yes, we do get a segment of Lauren and Onion. They go into some archery games, little, I don't know, foam archery game to dodgeball with archery is what they called it. I was like, okay, cool.
It didn't seem that fun with just two people. Like a team, that seems like it'll be solid. But one-on-one, really?
Yeah, it just seems like you just be missing a lot, right?
Yeah, right.
Lauren says this is a great way to get out aggression against Onion. They start the game, looks fun. She gets him a couple times. He gets her like once. They sit down and talk. He asks her, how she's doing. She says she's doing really well. Better even than before that they got into this, because she knows that she grew so much from this. He says it's a blessing and a lesson. Shut up, Onion. Shut up. No matter what he says, I'm like, shut up. He says he really felt blessed through this, but it was a hard lesson to learn. He tells her he's doing really good. She asks him, so are you looking at date soon? He says, well, I don't think our process is done yet, so I don't know. She is very confused by this. She's like, wait.
Yes, this definitely gave, are you ready to start dating yet? Because I've started.
Yeah. He says, he's been thinking about him and her, and he doesn't want to leave things unresolved. He wants to talk about all of it, so no one is left hanging on to anything. I just think she doesn't know what to say in this moment. She's like, I guess I'm willing to discuss that. It's very awkward at the moment.
As T pointed out in our Facebook group, when she said, do you want to be more than friends? That was off camera. We didn't see her actually say that.
Okay, yeah.
So take it for what you will.
I guess. She says, she doesn't know right now. She has to see where she is and everything and how much energy she wants to use on this relationship, because if there's one thing Lauren knows, it's that you're gonna have to spend a lot of energy on on any relationship with Onion, because I think I think part of her remembers, but part of her also is forgetting all the stuff that he put her through. Because I think if she remembered all that, she'd be like, heck no, I don't want to go through that again.
Yeah.
And she says she doesn't know if her effort might be better utilized elsewhere right now than a relationship with him.
That's why I think she's dating elsewhere,
Yeah.
the other people she's dating.
You're like, oh, are you having sex again with other people? You're technically divorce hasn't gone through, so you're still married to me. You know that, right? This feels like something he would do and say. So we do get the Cam and Michael convo, which I feel like we pretty much, went through most of the highlights there. And then we get where we at. We're at 13 days after decision day. So we're almost a half month from. We went a half month in one episode.
Yeah.
We're spending a lot of time.
They're like 4 months post decision day.
Yeah. I mean, do we need to wear the Nile special? Tell me we're not getting one of those, please. I feel like
there is literally no need.
No need, none. So we get Emily and Becca. They're going to a psychic medium to get their aura photos taken. They're doing this because they've been on such a journey and they need to, I don't know, just continue this journey of self-discovery. In a confessional, Becca says she's been doubting herself recently, and being aware of where you are spiritually is important for getting back to herself. We start with Becca. We get the energy reading photo, which is basically she just probably turned on a light behind them and took their photos. Like, see, it's red.
No, when I get this done and it's accurate, watch.
Sure, yeah, exactly. So yes, she does have a super cool energy that is deep red. It's what she feels inside, and people around her feel safe and nurtured when she's around. She's so empathetic. But the psychic medium does caution Becca, try not to overgive. Allow yourself to receive and ask for help when it's needed. They're all like, oh, that's so accurate. Yes.
And then the psychic medium gets a call and she's like, yeah, Claire, I said exactly what you told me to say.
Yeah, I got your text. I said exactly what you wanted. I said either it's that or she had a meeting with producers right before this whole thing. It's like, this has been Becca's journey so far. This has been Emily so far. So you can use that in your little spiel. So Emily's next. Emily also has a deep red aura. I'm beginning to think everyone has a deep red aura that comes to this lady. She says, but yours means an aura of protection. She says it means that you know who you are and you're unapologetic and you embrace it. But I'm also seeing that you get hot and heavy energy from the person around you. It's very infatuating. But when you start to cohabitate, it's a huge energy shift. And it was like, oh my God, that's exactly what happened with her and Brennan.
Look, don't make me go. I found an aura reading person I found a Houston. Groupon? No.
It seems like exactly what a Groupon
2005.
would be. Excuse me, I use Groupon to get my oil change. Okay, that Jiffy Lube Groupon has come in handy for me.
I found a Houston aura photographer, and it shows the different markets that she'll be at. So I could roll through on Saturday.
Oh my God!
Look, not everybody has a deep red aura. Some people have purple. People have blue. I'll report back.
Yes, please do. We were all waiting with bated breath. Becca tells us in the confessional she's not sure that she made the right decision, but this is really helping her come to terms with it. But she's still wary if she made the right decision or not. That's all right. It just feels like we're getting set up for a reunion here, and that's pretty much the episode. Now it was
like, oh, okay. And so after party.
Ooh boy, after party. After party. Now the first half after party was like, okay, this is kind of your run-of-the-mill after party. We had Rudy's husband there, which is like, it's hit or miss with Rudy's husband, I think. But he was fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like a strong MAFS casual. He probably misses episodes here and there.
Yeah.
But I will say, Chloe did say, because it was Chloe and Austin in the first half, and Chloe said, she's not here to be liked. She's here to be loved. And that was in reference to her bringing up all of these intense desires and dreams that she wants.
Mhm.
So her mindset is like, these are the things I want, take it or leave it. Where it's like, okay, I don't know.
That's not really what this is for. Like,
Right, this isn't the Bachelorette.
yeah, for sure. Like,
You
yeah,
know? Like, I
it's
feel
kind
like
of a
there's a little
partnership.
give and take, but that's
Yeah.
just me. And then we also found out like Austin isn't watching. He's getting highlights from friends and family. They said it's been pretty good so far. He's like, but maybe they're just being nice. And then yeah,
Well,
those are the main highlights from them
I
for
mean,
me.
I really kind of felt for Austin here in this moment because he's really kind of vocalizing the control that Claire has had on Becca and Emily. He's like, yeah, they all get together and these buzzwords get thrown around like optics and manipulation and all this stuff. And he just feels like he again says he doesn't feel like he's different on camera or off camera. He feels like he's the same. He says he's never silenced Becca. He says there are things that both of them did not want to talk about on camera. He says, she don't want to talk about her health stuff on camera. So he said that was fine. But he never feels like he's silenced her or that he was demonstrably different on or off camera.
Listen, that's this group think that's been happening because what like Austin and Brennan are completely different. Like what Emily was experiencing with Brennan is not what Becca was experiencing with Austin. However, that does not mean that Austin, I feel like Austin's is thinking, I wasn't that. So like, what was it? Well, it was because you were immature in the relationship and you weren't meeting her needs, right? So it was like for for her to describe it like how Brennan was intentionally not intentionally not attracted to Emily, but wouldn't say it, intentionally withheld that, intentionally was rude and abrasive at times. That's not Austin. So he's like, he can't make sense of that. Like how that they are being grouped together. And it's like, yes, that is not true. But I just feel like it's being poorly communicated to him what the issue was.
Yeah, he also does run down the whole, producer of it all. He's like, I really made friends with all the producers, the cameramen, and then my friends made friends with them. And then my friend asked the producer out, and then they asked me out. I'm like, you're
It was the
explaining
producers last night with us.
yeah. I'm like, you're
And
explaining a
Becca
little
doesn't
too
go
much.
out. She doesn't drink. She doesn't go out for fun. So she was supposed to meet us after that.
Well, he did confirm that he asked her to go out, but she did not want to go out. And she also was the one that said that she did not want them to be together the night after Decision Day.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because she said she wanted to go home.
yeah,
Her
to go home
home.
she wanted to go to her home, not to their home together.
Yeah.
So that was something that we were talking about a little bit last week of like, well, why didn't he go home with her and decompress with her? Because she didn't want him there. But I think, what we were talking about last week was that I think probably her expectation was that Austin would be kind of like her and just go home and decompress.
Mm-hmm.
But he said he said that his version of decompressing, his version of getting back to himself is going out and having fun with friends. And his version and her version of decompressing and getting back to self are totally different, which is like also means you were very poorly matched, I think.
Yes, absolutely. They need to
So
start asking that. How do you decompress? Because that's been a
yes,
theme this season.
I think those are important questions. But if we're not
Yes.
even asking about religion, I don't think anyone's asking about how you decompress. So it's like let's not expect too much of the experts. But I thought that was all very interesting. He shed a little bit of light, but not a lot. But then we get to the second half. Oh boy.
They knew what they were doing a 1 hour after party this week.
They also knew what they were doing by putting Rudy's husband in between Cameron and Becca, because I think they could probably tell the vibes were off between them before they even sat on these chairs, because you could tell by looking at them. They're like, Becca looked pissed off the whole time. I don't know if she
channeled Emily.
Yeah, I don't know if she was watching backstage while Austin was doing his part of the after party. It just felt like she came in here with attitude, like she was ready to fight.
Yeah. Even Rudy pointed out, she's like, oh, you changed seats, huh? Just change the scenery, huh?
Yeah, why you sitting over there, Brad? He's like, oh, I just want to change up a little bit. not because I feel like someone's gonna get hit in the face if I don't not between these two people.
Right.
But well, I mean,
So yeah,
break it
so
down for us.
okay, so
You took all the notes. You took all the
yeah.
notes.
So we find out from these are the main highlights. So we find out from Becca that Austin was an avid vapor. He vaped
Mhm.
all the time. And she said she did not have an issue with it if he were just to say, "Hey, yeah, I vape." The issue was he tried to hide it and do it in secret, and then she would catch him, and then he would lie about it. So her issue is, why is he sneaking around vaping?
I mean, I know she says she doesn't have a problem with it, but my thing, I think Brad James even said something to this effect. He's like, "Well, it seems like there's an issue with communication because if you didn't have a problem with it, why would he feel like he needs to hide it? Especially if you catch him one time, why not just say, "Oh, I don't really care if you vape or not. Like, it's not a big thing." For me, it feels like she caught him vaping and like gave him some grief about it, and now she's changing her story a little bit. Like,
See, I think
I
it's
didn't.
the opposite. I don't even think it's she caught him vaping and then that. I feel like it was he felt from the get-go, this isn't something I want to share. This is just something I want to do by myself. And then she caught him and then he lied about it. And then it just became a thing when it didn't need to be a thing, which is how everything else in their relationship is outside of religion just becomes a thing when it doesn't need to be.
I don't know if it feels like she caught him for the first time, and then
Why
she's
did
like,
he
"Well,
why did she have to catch him though the first time?
maybe he did feel like maybe she won't approve of this or something." She seems kind of like she doesn't drink, maybe she doesn't do other stuff, so maybe he felt like he wasn't comfortable doing it in front of her. If she caught him the first time, she's like, "Yeah, it's fine if you do it," but I'm sure she gave him like a 5-minute lecture on why he shouldn't do
It's
it.
not good for him.
Yeah. So maybe at that point he's like, "Well, I still want to do this, but I don't want to lecture every time I go to do it. So I'm just going to do it in secret." So in that way, to me, it's just kind of like, yeah, I didn't say he couldn't do it, but yeah, you're kind of annoying every time I do it. So I feel like I need to to do it away from you.
Mm.
Is I wonder if that was the issue, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we have different perspectives on the cause and effect. I feel like it's just
Well,
Austin being Austin.
I
And
think if she
the
catches him the first
initial
time,
line, I think, look, if she caught him the first time and she's like, "Are you vaping?" He's like, "No." And then she's like, "I clearly saw you vaping." And he's like, "No, I wasn't." You're lying now. That's the issue. Not, "Oh, me vaping is the issue." No, why would you lie about it?
but I feel like if she goes, "Well, I don't care if you vape," like it doesn't like she said on that part, she doesn't care if he vapes. If she said that to him, why would he need to keep hiding it?
Because he initially thought, "Oh, I just got caught doing something bad. I need to lie,"
I
because
don't know.
he's a child.
I feel like she kind of was low key, kind of giving him grief about it, but she didn't outright say, "I don't want you vaping."
I don't feel patterns. Like, I would not even be surprised if that were the chain of events. Austin thought he was doing something he shouldn't be doing, so he hid it. She caught him. He lied. That was what she had the issue with, and he's like, "She doesn't like me vaping." Not that, "Oh, I lied about it." She doesn't like me vaping.
Well, here's my chain of events, right? They probably talked about, stuff. She's like, "Yeah, I don't drink, maybe she doesn't do any drugs." And he's like, kind of a square, I guess. He's like, maybe I just won't vape in front of her because she doesn't like to do those things. So I'm not going to do it in front of her. And then she catches him doing it. And
And then he
she's like,
lies.
right, I guess. And but listen, there's two sides to every story. And she's like, "I don't mind if you do it, but this, and this. You're like, "Well, I don't want to lecture every time I want to go vape, so I'm just gonna keep doing it in secret."
Listen, you gave him the benefit of the doubt with the producer situation. What'd he do today? Or today, live this week's episode. Told you he lied to Becca.
I guess I don't know. I think there's two sides. Austin and Becca are on two completely different pages in the same book, so I feel like there's one side of the story, another side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
They are in different libraries.
Yeah, for sure.
So Becca, uh Becca, it's okay. This is the moment where this is something that happened because I can't remember the chain of events. But Cameron's talking about him and Claire. Becca says that she has the screenshots of Cameron telling Claire to act cold with him on camera. Because what's happening is Cameron is trying to say, I went along with what Claire wanted. I was lying because Claire wanted us to lie. And Becca's like, no, you're switching the narrative. You wanted her to act like this for whatever reason. And I have the screenshot to show you told her to act cold on camera. And like the things when she was saying this, Cameron was kind of like, okay, kind of true. Okay, yeah, okay. And so then she finishes talking. Cameron goes, nice.
Nice. Okay, nice. Let me tell you the real tea, Rudy. Let me tell you the real tea now.
He said, unfortunately for Becca, I have all the texts that are not out of context.
Because Claire sent Becca only the text messages that Claire wanted Becca to see.
And when you are trying to send a screenshot, you may scroll up like, okay, that top part, I don't want them to see. That's not important to the story. So let me scroll up, get my point across.
When Aysha sends me screenshots of text messages, she blurs out every other text message.
No, I did that one time.
Aysha, I have the text messages to prove it. Don't make me show it. Okay? I got them right here.
One text message.
Let me blur out every other text message so you don't see what else I'm talking about. That's what Cam did to Claire.
Yes. And so
was what Claire did to Becca, I mean.
Right. And so Cameron says he has text messages to prove that Claire wasn't attracted to him, right? That she
that from day one. That from day one, they knew this wasn't going to work. So she wanted him to come up with the plan to what they were going to tell producers.
Yes.
I said, forget breaking the fourth wall. We don't have any more house to be in. We broke all the walls here.
We are outside.
Yes, we are outside of the premises because this is deep cuts stuff. Like we wanted to lie for two producers from day one because we knew this wasn't going to work. Mostly, I think Claire knew this wasn't going to work.
Yes,
and told Cam that in no uncertain terms. This ain't gonna work. Let's figure out how we're gonna get through this season because I want to stay on the show.
Right.
But we're gonna figure out how to stay.
She figured out how to do it anyway. Stay on the show.
Right.
The text messages also show that Claire admitted that the double date thing was a lie, but she wanted to do whatever she could to take down Brennan.
To take him down. First of all, okay, listen. We just got done with the Love is Blind Union where we had a shot by shot reenacting of text messages from
galore
from Nick and Vanessa Lachey, which were like mostly dumb innocuous. I need these text messages read out by Pastor Cal and Dr. Pepper
from Kevin Frazier.
I need these text messages read out.
Cameron would be like, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, unedited.
He's like, here's my phone, actually.
Cameron, if you're watching this, send it to me. You didn't figure out how. I'm on Twitter. Hit me up.
And so Cameron's like talking, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, Claire even admitted the double date thing was a lie because I was like, he said she even told me she wanted me to be on the girls' side on decision day because
this is a color war in summer camp.
Yes, like literally. He's like, she wanted me to be on the girls' side, and I was like, look. I'm willing to lie for us. I'm not willing to lie on another couple. I wasn't going to lie on Emily and Brennan because when Emily cheated,
that was expertly done. That was so well slipped in there.
What he was doing.
That was so well put in there. Oh my gosh. Rudy's like, whoa.
Because even when Becca would bring up stuff, he'd be like, okay. And so
whatever, girl. Whatever.
He said, nice. So he said,
I love Rudy though. Like I love Rudy. Like, whoa. Back up.
He said Emily cheated. He said, yeah, she cheated. He's like, and I thought that was gonna be a bigger deal. And Becca's like, wow, of course. And he's like, and Cameron goes, she was there. And
there's an uncomfortable silence.
Yes.
For a second. Rudy's like, Becca? Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say about Emily cheating? And the look on Becca's face was such resigned, like, oh crap.
She was so torn. She's like, do I lie? Do I paint this better than what it was? Do I have my friend's back? What do I do in this moment?
Mm,
Because she's like basically shows she's annoyed that Cameron has just said this, right?
yep.
She's like, well, Brennan was, icing her out. And we went out one night. This Australian guy, why was that relevant?
Yeah, I don't know.
She goes, this Australian guy was like flirting with Emily and they kissed. And and Rudy's like, well, she was still married.
Did she know she was married still? Technically?
And Becca's like, no, I'm not trying to excuse that. I'm just saying it was irrelevant to what Cameron was talking about. Cameron said, I never wanted it to come out. I never wanted that to come out.
This felt like in the war between Cameron and Claire that he just took out one of her generals. Like that's how it felt. Like I'm gonna do irreparable damage to your side.
Right. He said, oh, I know how to take her down.
I know where the bodies are buried. Don't F with me. Don't F with me. I know where all your secrets are.
He said, I didn't want to bring it up, but I just thought, okay, Emily's going to take the brunt of this because she's the one who cheated. And then he was like, Brendan never brought it up. So I was like, okay, fine. He's never going to bring it up. And he said, and Claire texted me. He said, cheaters are always going to get what they deserve. He said, does that sound like a friend?
Does that sound like a friend to you, Rudy? I don't think so.
Cameron is never deleting those text messages. He is forever going to have the receipts.
Cameron is our hero.
Cameron
has printed out these text messages and has put them in safe deposit boxes. Like, if anything ever happens to me, release these texts.
Claire's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have never texted Cameron. Cameron's like, oh, I got it. I got every voice memo.
I don't have his number in my phone. I've never texted this man before.
Who is Cameron? And then voice memo, Cameron, don't you ever.
They're out somewhere and he's got his phone out. She grabs his phone and throws it into like a river. She's like, oops.
He's like, I've got backups.
I'm on the cloud. Okay. It's all backed up.
There is no love between any man and woman cross unions because
this is strictly a gender war. Men against women. This is what this is.
You would have thought if you had popped in, you know how Married at First Sight expects people to just pop in for the first time each week. Mm-hmm. You had just popped in on After Party. You would have thought Cameron and Becca were the two that just got divorced.
Yep,
because there was so much just resentment here. It was wild.
You would think this should be hate reserved for Lauren and Onion, right? After like the first few weeks, you'd be like, this would be a Lauren and Onion scene.
Yes.
Of how these people are going at each other. But no, those two are actually friendly now. We've gone full circle, and now these people are at each other's throats. And it is so juicy to watch. But I'm upset that they have excluded this from the main show. Because listen, our friends in Canada, they don't get After Party. They don't get this juiciness. Why is this? I would have to only imagine this is all found out after the fact, that after all the filming was done. And it's like, crap, like, how can we get this information out there? Like, I know, we'll get it out through After Parties. That's how we'll do it. We'll rile all these people up and get them to spill the tea on After Party. And I can only imagine the rest of the tea we're going to get on the reunion. I feel like they're saving some big bombs for the reunion.
Cameron's like, I only like emptied a couple.
I emptied one clip into it. I got so much more ammo here.
He said, you don't want to know what I got when I'm in front of Claire? That was just for Becca.
When I tell you I know where the bodies are buried, I know where the bodies are buried. And they're all coming out. All the skeletons come out the closet this reunion. I'm not leaving one of them skeletons in the closet. They all coming out.
He said, okay.
Oh, Becca, don't worry. I got something for you at the reunion, okay? You thought this was bad? I got way more.
Becca was probably like, what did I get myself into trying to go at it with Cameron? He just...
Don't test him. Don't test him. Oh. Don't test him.
Could you imagine if it like Rudy's husband wasn't there and it was like Cameron, Becca, and Emily?
Ooh, Oh
That would have been
man, we'd be like Rudy.
Emily would have been too busy trying to go after Rudy.
There'd be chairs thrown. There'd just be so much going on. You
Oh my
definitely need security on
goodness.
the set. You need security on the set.
Oh,
This man has made you reveal one of your friend's deepest, darkest secrets right now. That's what he did to you. That's how he messed you up so bad. He didn't reveal one of your secrets. He made you reveal one of your friend's secrets. That's how grimy Cam gets.
what? Because what else would she have done in this moment? Like, been a liar when Cameron knew? Cameron would have been like,
He put her in
okay,
an impossible
Emily
position.
cheated with him. He's like, I can tell you, Claire told me.
He put her in an impossible position and he painted her in a corner. And you could tell she was caught. She was like, oh, you got me.
Yeah.
I would love to be a fly on the wall after the filming was done, just to see what that environment was like.
Cameron probably grabbed his stuff and went in his car and left.
Was Austin still there? Like, I want to know everything about the behind the scenes of this.
Oh,
This is just so juicy. Like, oh,
I couldn't believe it. I
it
was
doesn't
just
get
like,
much better than this. It doesn't get much
yeah.
better. I can only imagine. I gotta know. I cannot wait for this reunion. I need to get to these episodes so we can get to reunion now, please.
No, please.
I don't even care what the Michael Chloe decision is. I don't care.
Just get yes. At this point, let's get one more episode. I would be fine with, because next episode he did say, yeah, let's see the next time on. Next time on was Chloe said they do need to move in together.
That felt weird.
It did. This also felt weird. Orion and Lauren saying that Orion, she just said he.
Oh, okay.
Stayed at her place until 2 a.m.
That was very weird as well. I was
Yes.
like, okay, what's going on? What is happening? Something's going on.
Chloe and Michael were looking at houses, and Michael just said, like, we're not buying a house after this. Becca's missing Austin. Chloe's talking to Lauren, Becca, and Emily about decision day.
And it's
like a panel situation.
Yes, they're trying to like bring her over to their side. Like,
so how are you going to say no? We say no on this season.
Let's go over your reasoning for your no, okay? We got a lot of work to do to get you ready for this decision day.
Say that he gaslit you. That's what the men in Denver do.
Say that you can see through his double talk and he's a no good liar.
So how many times has he silenced you? Just, bring that up.
Has he ever said the word optics to you?
Right. No? Okay, we'll just put it on him.
Yeah. Just we did
that's,
it all.
That's why he cares about his wardrobe so much, because he cares about the optics. Yes,
was Claire there? Claire wasn't there, was she?
Claire wasn't there. No, it was Becca, Emily, and no, she was. She was sitting next to because I thought that. I said, oh, Claire finally set one out. I saw a glimpse of Claire next to Chloe.
I thought she could leave him alone for one night. Like, y'all got your scripts. I don't need to babysit you. But no, she's still she's sitting on the
other side of the table with the cue cards. Okay. Oh, and then Michael says, like, now that he's evaluated, he's really questioning this marriage. We didn't see him actually say that. A lot of this seemed a little,
chopped and screwed.
Yes. So we'll see. But yeah, I am looking forward to this reunion for Cameron alone.
Yes, he's gonna come. He's gonna come with it.
What if he sits it out?
No, he can't. I really hope that this incentivizes Brendan to really come with what he's really feeling in his head and heart. It's gonna be terrible, but I feel like that's gonna be really juicy and cringy.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. So yes, that was this episode. Thanks for sticking with us. Make sure you go subscribe to Love at First Sight feed and leave us a 5-star rating and review. And also go join the Facebook group, A Perfect Match Podcast, where the password this week is Deep Red Aura. I know exactly where I'm going to get my aura for photography done this weekend. So I will report back next week to let you know what it's giving. It's literally not far. It's like 10 minutes.
I really just hope it's deep red. I really just hope it is.
So we'll see. If so, then I'll have the same description as people feel safe around me. I'm nurturing. I'm thoughtful and energetic.
You give too much. You need to receive.
Right. So Jason, where can people keep up with you?
On Twitter, you can find me at JAYR1085. You can find me on this here podcast every week. You can also find me for now on the Love is Blind podcast. We got one more episode left. As we said earlier, it's already probably been done by the time you hear this, but go check that out. Again, if you like what you're hearing, leave us a 5-star review. Our mailbag is officially empty right now, so go fill up our coffers with reviews so we can get back to highlighting them. But yeah, that's it for me right now.
Yeah, and y'all can follow me on all social media at Asia like Asia. And you can find me here every week talking some MAFS with my co-host over here. So yes, we will be back next week to talk about episode 22. If you believe it, 22 weeks talking about this show.
Crazy. 5 months of our lives.
What is wrong with us? I think that's really the question.
We definitely have mental problems. There's no doubt about that.
22 weeks of talking about this season specifically.
Listen, I think by the end of the season, we're going to be like, you know what? This is one of the best seasons. Now, I know for you who loves love,
I just need one. That's what I just need one example. You know, like if we had one couple that's like, we found our soulmates on this. Thank you. That'd be great.
Nah, give me 5 dumpster fires. Do it.
Ugh,
I want it all.
It just feels like a waste.
This is gonna be 5.5 dumpster fires probably by the time we get done with this.
Oh goodness.
Including the one who ran away at the beginning.
Yeah, we need to find out who she is on the reunion. We'll never find her out.
I think there's litigation there. We're never finding out who that lady is. That secret is right next to the clear text messages. They're never going to be revealed. They're in a safe deposit box right next to those.
No, I feel like we're more prone to find out the clear text messages than that girl.
I need them. I need that more than I need anything else in life. I need that more than I need air.
Yeah.
Release the text messages.
You call me a MAFS nerd? Okay.
Are you just upset because you haven't been able to update your spreadsheet?
There's no successful couples. All right. We'll see y'all next week to talk about episode 22. Until then, bye.